Welcome to NCOFCU's podcast. Today, I want to pull you into a short but important moment that comes up in strong boardrooms. A quick governance conversation that can change how an organization thinks about the future. The theme comes straight out of ongoing board development training at NCOFCU's First Responder Credit Union Academy, and it's built around one simple warning. Don't be a Sears.
Now, if you're old enough to remember the Sears catalog, you probably remember how dominant it was. Before online shopping was even a thought, that catalog was a retail powerhouse. Sears mailed hundreds of millions of catalogs every year and had stores all over the country. They were everywhere. They were trusted. They felt permanent. And yet, today, Sears is mostly gone. So when people hear that story, the quick explanation is usually, well, technology happened. Amazon showed up, shopping moved online, and Sears didn't keep up. End of story.
But here's the more relevant lesson for a board. The deeper issue wasn't the existence of new technology. It was leadership and strategy. Sears could see the change coming. Online shopping, digital commerce, new competitors, shifting customer behavior, all of it was visible. The problem is they didn't move with urgency, and their leadership kept defending the old model instead of actively building the next one.
That's why this isn't just a retail story. It's a governance story. Because one of the board's most important jobs is to make sure the organization doesn't get stuck protecting yesterday's strategy when the world is already demanding a new one. So let's make it practical. If we're sitting in a credit union boardroom, what changes are hitting our industry right now? The list is not short.
Start with digital banking expectations. Members don't compare us to the credit union down the street anymore. They compare us to the best digital experience they've had anywhere. Add in fintech competitors who can launch new products quickly and market them aggressively. Then layer on artificial intelligence, which is changing everything from fraud detection to member service to internal efficiency. And it doesn't stop there. We're serving more mobile-first members, including younger members who may never want to walk into a branch. At the same time, cybersecurity risks keep rising, and regulatory requirements keep getting more complex. In other words, the environment isn't just evolving, it's accelerating.
And that brings us to the real board-level question. What are we actually supposed to do about it? How does a board avoid becoming a Sears in the credit union world?
Board development training points to a few responsibilities that matter a lot. The first is education. Not in the sense of a one-time training or a binder you read once a year, but ongoing learning. Boards need to stay current on trends in financial services, changes in technology, and emerging risks. If we're not learning, we're guessing. And if we're guessing, we're exposed. The second is industry awareness. That means regular, structured updates on what's changing around us. What are other institutions doing? What are fintechs rolling out? What are member expectations becoming? What's happening in cybersecurity? What are regulators emphasizing? An effective board doesn't wait until something becomes a crisis to start paying attention. The third responsibility is strategic thinking. And this is where a lot of boards can unintentionally drift into the danger zone. It's easy to fill meetings with reports, metrics, and approvals. Those are important, but they're not the full job. The board's role is to challenge assumptions, test the plan, and keep asking where the industry is going, not just how last month went.
One of the clearest signs of a strong board is the quality of its questions. So let me offer a handful that should show up consistently in governance conversations. Are our members' expectations changing faster than our services are evolving? Are new competitors entering our space with experiences members might prefer? Are we investing enough in innovation, not just maintaining what we already have? And maybe the hardest question of all, what could disrupt our business model, even if it sounds unlikely today? Because if we're not asking questions like that, we're competing in a reactive mode. We're responding after the market moves, not positioning ourselves before it does. And that gap, over time, is how once dominant organizations become cautionary tales.
The final takeaway from the Sears story is simple, and it's uncomfortable for successful organizations. Success today can create comfort. You start to believe the model is proven, the brand is strong, The member base is loyal, and the next year will look like the last year. But comfort can be dangerous. In governance, comfort often shows up as we've always done it this way, or that trend won't affect us, or we'll deal with it when it gets here. Sears had scale, resources, and brand recognition, and it still lost its place. Not because change was invisible, but because transformation didn't happen fast enough.
The strongest boards stay curious. They stay informed. They think forward. And they treat the future as something to protect, not something to react to later.
At the end of the day, the goal of governance isn't only to manage the present. It's to safeguard the long-term health of the credit union and the members we serve. So here's the reminder to carry into your next board discussion. Stay informed, stay adaptable, and above all, don't be a Sears. Thanks for listening to NCOFC Use Leadership and Governance podcast from the National Council of Firefighter Credit Unions. If you found this episode valuable, share it with a board member or colleague, because strong governance today builds strong credit unions tomorrow. Stay safe, stay informed, and keep leading forward.